We stress how proud they should be, you know, that all families, all dynamics are different. Kids, very few kids are raised with a mother and father these days, and you know, a lot of kids are raised with grandma or auntie or mom and grandma or just dad or dad and dad. You know, the family dynamic is you know, this huge mesh of different makeups. Two moms is just two moms, and you know, they've had friends say, dude, you know, you're so lucky, you've got two moms, man. I wish I had two moms.
I was playing with the boy Barbie and the girl Barbie, and my dad was just like watching me, and I was like making them dance, and he was like, oh, you know, like sometimes boys dance with boys, and so he had like two boy Barbies dancing.
Well, and then you add the fact that we're a biracial lesbian couple, and it's just like, wow, how much more can you throw at a dartboard and have it stick, you know?
Well, for me, I just enjoy like their company, just being a family, and like having a great time, and how they help a lot around the house, and how helpful they are, and yeah, how they just guide us.
A functional family to me are the families that meet the 6 basic functions of family: love, care, and support.
Elementary school, I think, yeah, like when my sister's friend called me a lessie, and my sister said, oh, thank you, because we didn't know what that was, but I guess I was doing lessie things. And basically it was a confession, like, I'm going to hell, I want you to know why, because I've done a mortal sin by being gay. And that's how I came out.
It was hard for my mom. I wasn't very close with my mom, so it was hard for her. She didn't understand it. My dad was very accepting. He rented a bunch of books, went to the library, got some books, because he didn't understand it and he really wanted to know, and he just told me he loved me no matter what, it didn't matter, and yeah, so my mom, not so cool about it, but that didn't really matter in the end.
I found out because I just asked him, because I felt like something was kind of like off, and he was spending a lot of time with his like roommate buddy, and so I was like, Dad, like, are you gay?
I came out to my mom first, and she took it as something negative and a direct reflection on her. That what did she do she's a single mom, what did she do as a parent, you know, that caused this? Like, nothing caused this, but she saw it as a direct reflection on her, so therefore I caught a lot of negativity for it. And then after that I came out to my grandmother, who was like, yeah, I know. And for me that was interesting because of the generational differences between her and my mom, and you know, my grandma was like, okay, right, as long as you're happy.
And the reality is that homosexuality exists in every culture, and therefore there cannot be this as a choice. This has to have some biological underlogic, but we don't need to be trying to figure it out, so we can go in and change people's brains and make them right.
And I think too that the thought process is, if you have two women that are together raising a child, then you're missing that male influence.
Yes.
Or if you have two males raising a child, you're missing the female influence. There's no thought process when those people that believe that think that it's like it's those two people and that's it. There's no extended family, there's no friends, there's no neighborhood, there's no nothing. It's just those two people raising that child. Well, you could say that about any two people.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, how many single moms out there raise all their kids without the presence of a father? And no one's protesting them.
We need to rethink the whole idea of motherhood and fatherhood. By giving these labels, mothers do certain things, fathers do certain things, then we say children need two parents of the opposite to get that. But we need to rethink the language that we use for family roles, and rethink them in a way that allows people to just parent. So if you've got two individuals parenting and doing what we expect parents to do, then you don't need to worry about the gender of those two individuals.
If they need it, it's provided. You know, like one of mine, Chase, he's a big fisher hunter kind of guy. He loves to fish and hunt, and you know, I don't mind doing it, but he bonds more with men in that regard. So we try to, you know, get him out there with somebody, something. He doesn't care who it is. It could be the guy next door, just taking fishing. But he just bonds more with a male figure in that regard. So we try to do what we can for him there.
Instead, research shows that a lot of gays and lesbians have created families in which the gender that is not in the home is represented in the children's lives.
I had the masculine role of a great father who knew how to treat women respectfully and knew that they were equals, so I had a really great standard for men. But then I also had somebody that I could talk to about literally anything, like way closer to my dad than anybody else.
Maybe as you get older, you might question or...
Yeah, almost like curious, like what it would be like. I always thought of what it would be like what would be different if we did have a dad.
It's actually nice.
Yeah?
Because all the dads I've seen, they're angry a lot.
Some people are just born to be parents, and my dad is definitely one of those people. Gay or straight, some people are just meant to be in that role, and so I would not deny anyone that privilege that is so obviously capable.
When you've got over 500,000 children in child protective service in the country, and many of them are not adoptable, or many people don't want to adopt them. They are adoptable, but nobody, a lot of people don't want them. And you have gays and lesbians who are willing to take these children into their home and love them and give them a home. Because if anyone understands rejection, gays and lesbians understand rejection, right? And so I think they would understand where these children come from. In fact, it's a good match.
I totally know she'd be a great parent and I would be a great parent.
Yeah, and I think
that
together,
whole part is easy. I think.
I
You
think
know what I mean?
together we complement each other really well. So where one might not be so great at certain things, she thinks any child under a year's head is going to fall off if you hold it.
No
So,
Their
so I
head's
mean,
gonna
I think
fall
the
off.
combination between the two of us, I think we'd be really good.
Adoption.
I think I'd like to do both. She
Together.
doesn't want to have a kid, so she's like, adoption.
I don't want the mom to take it. I want my blood in it.
Yeah.
So if my blood's not in it, then this is where we are.
I'm just waiting.
Parenting was easy, natural for me. It was something that I didn't struggle with or stress about. It was never hard. It was never a worry. Now that they're getting older, it is, because they're getting older. They're like dudes now, right? They're not babies. They're doing stuff and getting into trouble and, making bad decisions, or school's getting harder. So that part has changed. Just because you care, you want them to take the right path and do the right thing, and hopefully have guided them in the right direction enough to make good choices.
I think the greatest fear is that the child will be gay. I think there's really a fear that if a child is raised in a family with 2 males or 2 females, that they come to see that as a norm, and then they won't learn to be attracted to the opposite sex. But that's not what the research shows. And when you consider that many gays and lesbians were raised in heterosexual families, then that negates that anyway. And the research shows that many gays and lesbians are as strict on their boys about not being feminine as heterosexuals are, because they're afraid it's gonna come back on them, and people say, oh, they're raised in gay and lesbian homes, so they become gays and lesbians.
Not these two. Are you kidding me? No way. The girls are, pounding the doors down, and it's well received. No, I think you're a product of your environment. I didn't choose my sexuality. It was chosen for me. And the same thing's going to happen to them. If they're going to be gay, it's because that's their genetic makeup, not because of their environment or, being around a bunch of women. If they're around a bunch of gay men, would that make them gay? It's kind of
not contagious.
It's kind of ridiculous. They have a great friend base. The parents are great. They haven't had any, that I'm aware of, any negative feedback.
Yeah.
We're knowing, because they have two moms and they don't even think twice about it.
Oh, no.
No? No one's ever been like,
No.
made fun of you guys or anything like that?
No.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. That's cool.
That's really
It's good
cool.
to hear.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing, whether you're two lesbians raising kids or you're, have a different religion than somebody, you're always going to have somebody that doesn't agree with what you're doing. But like you said, I think it's a lot more, I don't know if I'd say it's a lot more accepted, or people are just realizing that we're not going away.